No, you didn't misclick. This is in fact a Kamikaze 78 video on Planetside 2. I get it, the footage looks a little different this time around. Last time you guys saw a full-length video from me that sported these kinds of graphic settings was about a year ago. So what gives? Why are you seeing it now? Well, g'day there once again viewers, your mate Kamikaze 78 here, and today we're going to be discussing a change in direction we're going to be test running here on the channel. So yeah, obviously the change we're going to be talking about today is the graphics settings that we are running in Planetside right now. I was honestly in two minds about making this video, you know? As I was typing out my dot points for this one, I was sort of asking myself, you know, does this video even need to exist? It's a video about my graphics quality settings, for God's sake. And I came to the eventual conclusion that yeah, it does need to be made, and there's a few reasons why. Over the years, I have set a precedent quite vocally on my channel. Graphics quality for the sake of video production quality is a cornerstone of my content. It's something that I've stood by time and time again, and I've always held that as a member who, through all of your generous support, is at the forefront of the Planetside 2 community representing this game at times, I should make an effort to show the game off in its best light possible, you know, really put the best foot forward for the game to potential new viewers. That included running the game in ultra settings, making it look modern, making it look good, making it look like it wasn't made back in 1994. So with all of that in mind, I feel like it's worth talking about why such a significant change is coming and where it's coming from. And quite frankly, guys, it's simple. For me, over the last few years, Planetside has been about being the best player I can possibly be. I will never be one of the best players in this game, as far as my mental capacity and my physical ability with reflexes and stuff like that. There's plenty of peeps in this community that can and will wipe the floor with me consistently and do so on a regular basis. But I always strive to be the best that I can be, you know, set myself personal goals and personal benchmarks to beat every time. You know, after years of enjoying the game for its spectacle and back-of-the-box moments, if you will, that's become less of a priority for me nowadays. I've seen everything possible that really made me go, wow, this is excellent. You know, I've seen the giant piss-off armor columns. I've seen the Bastion fleet carrier battles. I've seen the orbital strikes. I've been a part of Footzergs. I've experienced all of those moments with those pretty graphics enabled. And to me, they don't just have the same wow factor anymore. So now I want the wow factor to be my personal performance. It's where my enjoyment comes from at the moment. As I'm sure you've seen over the last couple of years in particular, my content has really been focused on celebrating that FPS component of this game. You know, this is an extension of that. This is where my passion lies within the subset of Planetside 2. Nowadays, I feel like the Ultra Graphics preset is actually limiting my ability to achieve my enjoyment of being the best player I can, whether it comes from frame rate loss, sluggish mouse input that comes from higher end settings, the general screen clutter that emerges from all the particle effects in high population fights where I lose targets and all the mess. It all contributes to what can sometimes be a very frustrating experience when you're trying to perform at your best and break your own personal records as a skilled player. When streaming in particular, the performance loss actually gets pretty savage. If you've tuned into my streams as of late, you would have seen me change to the potato settings on a lot of occasions because quite simply, it's a much more player experience. The load on my system of streaming and playing a already heavily CPU bound game really does a number on my in-game performance and actually makes streaming this game far more frustrating than it has to be. And the long and short of all that, guys, is that quite frankly, I want to enjoy this game again the best I can. And I feel like by catering my settings to allowing me to get better frames and be more competitive in the way that I want to be is a step in the right direction. I want to improve my skills to go toe-to-toe with some of the better players in the game that used to, as I said, wipe the floor with me. I want to train my aim further and use that training to take it to other first-person shooter games that I'm interested in. I want to translate the skills that I learn by becoming a better player and by using performance to become a better player to the channel and to my content and teach you guys more ways to get better at the game. And I feel like after years of focusing on the spectacle of Planetside 2 and of those wow moments, those back of the box experience moments, this is a necessary step to take to get to where I want to be as a player and where I want my content to go and for my just general enjoyment of the game. Now, I get it, but Cammy, what about the production quality? What about the super good looking videos you produce in the game, in ultra settings? What about promoting the game in the best light possible? What happened to that little mantra? Unfortunately, guys, here's a bit of an inside scoop for you. The majority of my Planetside 2 content is now primarily viewed by subscribers only. And given that the majority of my content is Planetside 2 focused, it's safe to assume that the majority of you who are subscribed kind of already know what Planetside 2 looks like at its best case scenario. I'm just sort of beating a dead horse as far as the presentation is concerned to a lot of you out there. Now, assuming that all of my quote-unquote non-subscribers who are watching my Planetside 2 content had never even heard of Planetside 2 and they just found it due to the YouTube algorithm, which I actually consider to be very unlikely, there are very few quote-unquote new viewers to the Planetside 2 franchise watching my Planetside 2 content. And while yes, some of my biggest videos on my channel have primarily reached new viewers and also newcomers to the game, the majority of my content is predominantly viewed by people who have been here for a while and already know what Planetside 2 is like graphically and what it can achieve. I, quite frankly, don't need to sell them that experience. You guys already know what it is. In addition, as I discussed in my 2023 priorities video for Planetside 2, the first-person shooter side of this game has kind of been on the back foot as of late, and long-standing player retentions have continued to dwindle as a result. At least that's my personal assessment of the situation. I know not everyone agrees with that, but that's my personal assessment of Planetside 2's dwindling population. We've always had an issue in retaining new players due to the way this game plays. Now, my content and the presentation quality it has may have a role in bringing new people through the door and getting them to try the game, but the game struggles to keep those players around. And as such, I find it very hard to justify to myself sacrificing my ability to perform in-game at a level in which I want to do so on these higher-end graphics settings presets for what I view to be nowadays a rather limited return on investment for the health of the game and bringing new players aboard. I think some other steps need to be satisfied from the development side of the game in improving, player retention values before that return on investment is realized for me and my content. So that gives you guys a bit of an insight as to the mentality behind this pretty significant change for my content, all things considered, and yeah, why we're going to be running potato settings on videos for the foreseeable future. Now, I want to make it clear that that's not going to go for all videos, if you will. I understand that some of my content, due to the nature of it and the very nature of it, is going to attract newer players just by the nature of it being news updates and stuff like that. And also there's no reason in running said videos in potato mode because there's no actual benefit to me scoring super elite gameplay for a news video where we're sitting in a VR training room testing out weapons. So in those situations, I'd be open to keeping the ultra graphics preset there. But as far as general gameplay is concerned, and just general background footage, challenge video footage, that sort of thing, we're going to be going down to potato settings going forward. I also ran a poll on my channel a few days ago asking people about potato versus ultra settings and how open people would be to that idea. Some brought up the idea of having an alternating preset, right? In the sense that, say on stream, I'd run the potato graphics preset, and then when I was just getting gameplay recording in the background off stream, I'd run the ultra graphics preset. It would allow me to go and have those moments of just getting absolutely epic clips, and then also provide the opportunity for me to get, those higher fidelity clips. The only problem, guys, is that I often use my stream time as my recording time. The two are not mutually exclusive, and, well, quite frankly, switching in between recording presets and graphics presets in a single video is going to look a little bit jarring. So yeah, we're not going to be doing that. It's really a one or nothing situation, so I'm choosing potato over ultra for the time being. So yeah, that was a bit of a long-winded video talking about graphics settings in Planetside and how my content's going to look differently. If anything, it was a bit more of a channel update above all else, but I feel like it was something worth talking about given the way in which I've, stood by my content and some of the decisions I've made around my graphics settings in the past, and I feel like you guys should understand where this change is coming from and why it's coming in the first place. And quite frankly, I hope you guys can understand where I'm coming from here, and I hope you continue to enjoy the content as you normally would. On that note, if you guys enjoyed today's video, backhand the like button as it does go a long way to supporting the channel, and if you're new here, consider backhanding that subscribe button whilst you're at it to stay up to date with all future videos that we release here on this channel. We've got a lot of really cool videos on the way for Planetside, BattleBit, everything, so I hope to see you guys all there. Once again, guys, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Peace out, and I will see you guys all in the next one. Take care, guys. Have a good one.